Hey, what is up, guys? Got an awesome video, awesome, one of my favorite projects that I have. I got so many cool examples of this silhouette identity project. So this is a silhouette identity project. This is one of the ones that I do right away in the beginning of the year just so I get to know my students as best as I can. So what I have this on the first step that I do. So this is about a 5-step process. So I'll go through each step individually, but it's got 5 steps to it. Pretty easy one. Right into it, the first step is just to list 6 different things. So once you have your 6 things that are about you or should be representing you, and they can have different things, like for art, obviously I could have a few more from that, but each of those individual steps, you know, you can spawn out different ideas and different thoughts from those, each individual ideas. But I think it's a good little tip to have 6 of them just to start out, and just it's more than 2 or 3, but it's not quite having 10 of them, so it's a good number for that. So right here, of course, I got basketball, art, shoes, family, outside, and food. One of my favorite, or some of my favorite things onto there. The reason that down here at the bottom that I have clip art, because that kind of goes into step 2. So step 2 is taking those words. Not that I say that you can't have words in this project, like, because some people still have some words or text kind of in their project in parts, but I would like it to be more about the art. So your next step too is going to be kind of turning those into clip art images. And the reason I say clip is because when you're looking these up on Google, I would recommend not typing in like basketball, typing in basketball clip art. Not just typing in shoes or family or food, because then you'll start getting more realistic pictures of that stuff where you want kind of an easier image from that. So if you type in clip art after some of those words or some of those 6 that you have, I think it'll get you an easier image. So step 1 is just writing down those, and then step 2 is actually starting to turn those into like a simple image version of those words. So if I would do a basketball, I could do that. I could do a basketball hoop from that. Ooh, that's a pretty good basketball hoop from the front there. Oh, gotta have my square on there. Maybe I'd have the net onto there. And looking up that clip art would make it a little bit easier. So from each of those, you try to get little easy kind of images or clip art kind of designs. So I could get a shoe from there. For family, maybe I could look up silhouette itself, since silhouette is kind of like an outline or a shadow kind of image of something. If I didn't have this here, you can always add a little silhouette and then start putting some of those. That would be step 3, not 2. Step 3 would then be kind of on your sheet of paper, which a silhouette is just a outline or a shadow image, would maybe just be like shoulders. And I try to think of like from shoulders up. So maybe shoulders, and then, some sort of neck, and then maybe a head. And it doesn't have to be perfect. The reason I like this project is because it doesn't have to be an actual like portrait of someone. It just has to be that kind of outline. So in this one, you can quite easily see that kind of outline of them. And some people have some fun with that, whether doing their hair in there. For boys, it's a little bit easier because you can, just kind of do the circle shape. But some girls do like ponytails onto there. I've had girls, do, their hair going out to the side on there and then actually turning that into some of their images. I remember a girl specifically turning their hair into like music notes or, like the musical bars on there. And that actually adds the identity to the person. It makes it more realistic and more representational of you in that picture. So if you have just a basic silhouette, that would be kind of the 3rd step from there, is putting some of those clip art images into there. And I always tell kids, try not to have them all the same exact shape. And this one kind of has that a little bit. All these, it does not have to be perfect, but I always try to say, try not to make them about the same thumb size. I like this Netflix is really big over here. I think this is a donut. It looks like sprinkles onto here is kind of a little bit bigger. And then this Under Armour symbol is really small here. So I like having, some things, really big, some other things a little smaller, maybe some things a little bit bigger, maybe some things a little bit smaller. And then you can also start to think about what you're going to do for your background too. That'll be the kind of next step from there, is thinking about how you can kind of design or break apart your background. Some do some different patterns, some people do different designs into that pattern, into there, just to fill up that kind of open space into the background from there. So again, this is just a practice. This is just kind of the first couple steps on your practice paper, and then you will go on to a final paper and then start doing it a little bit more detailed, a little bit more effort and precision, and making stuff a little bit nicer and neater onto there. And then you'll go over all of those things in Sharpie when you go. So that would, I guess, be the 5-step process, is, you know, starting with your list, then getting your images, starting to put those images onto a picture, or onto a profile, I should say, thinking about your background, and then adding Sharpie on top of that. And when you do Sharpie on that, I always try to tell the kids about 50%. So about 50% black, 50% white. So half and half, kind of divide that up and do half black, half white. Some of the images will be in white, some of them will be in black, and start to think about how that can be evenly distributed from black to white on your picture is really set this apart. And I have some awesome examples onto this. I really like this project, just from really, I've done it, I think, from 1st and 2nd grade all the way up to middle school, and just the difference and variety in a lot of these examples. It really shows the student, and their personality comes through in this work. That's why I like this project. And most of the time people do just black and white into this, and they're okay with doing just black and white. But I have had a couple of people have interest in adding some color into some of their images, just to give it a different feel. So I can show you some different examples on how color would look in the same type of project. And that's an option too for some of my more advanced students that want to take it a little even step further. I always encourage kids to challenge themselves a little bit more onto the next step for the black and white, but adding some color can give it a little unique feel, and makes it different from maybe the person next to you or one of your friends that's doing some similar things. Adding some color in there could also change it up a little bit. Throw a comment down below on maybe a couple of your 6 things that would have in mind. I showed you, my different 6 things. So maybe show me some of yours. That would be down in the comments below. And of course, always hit that subscribe button while you're down there. That's the easiest way to get all my free videos coming out multiple times a week. So thank you guys for viewing. I am Mr. Shooty. This is Mr. Shooty's art class, and we'll talk to you guys later.